let's take advantage of this. You see what we got here. This is special. This is unique. Let's take advantage of it.
38-year-old Calais Campbell wants to win a Super Bowl with the Miami Dolphins before he rides into the sunset, led by new defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver and the most entertaining coach in football, Mike McDaniel. Welcome to Fins Fever 2024. I'm John Evanson. Miami Dolphin fans hope this is finally the year that the Dolphins win their first Super Bowl in decades. Dolphins cautiously optimistic that this is the team that can pull off the Dolphins' first playoff win in a quarter century. From a QB perspective, they've gone all in. They've put it all in the hands of Tua Tagovailoa. Well, now that Tua has been paid in full, let's take a look at some of the other QBs from Tua's 2020 draft class who've also cashed in big time. Here are Tua's numbers right here, stacked up against Cincinnati Bengals QB Joe Burrow. One less game, but 16 more passing touchdowns than Tagovailoa. Burrow has nearly 1,500 more passing yards so far. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert has a less impressive win-loss record while playing 9 more games than Tua, 33 more touchdowns than Tua, and roughly 4,500 more passing yards than Tagovailoa. And finally, the quarterback that Tua replaced during their days at Alabama, Eagle star Jalen Hurts. Tua has thrown 14 more touchdowns in 9 fewer games, just 3 more interceptions. Hurts has 41 rushing touchdowns compared to Tua's total of 6. Tagovailoa has thrown nearly 900 more passing yards than Hurts. Well, Tagovailoa wasn't the only Dolphins player who made history with a brand new contract heading into 2024. Tua's favorite target, Tyreek, was patient throughout the entire offseason, then pounced like a cheetah on a restructured contract just as his stock was at the highest. The NFL ranked Tyreek the #1 player in the league on its top 100 list. The very next day, the Dolphins came to terms on a new deal that will pay him $90 million over the next 3 years, $65 million guaranteed.
I'm always hungry. I'm always trying to find ways to get better. And, that's the only way to be in this league. That's how guys like myself last in the league, man, trying to, get better, trying to help the team win, man. So I just thank God. I'm grateful to be in this position.
Hill leads all NFL wide receivers with over 3,500 yards receiving since being traded from the Chiefs in 2022. The Dolphins also hoping they'll get their money's worth for everyone's favorite Penguin, Jalen Waddle, with the ultimate Waddle celebration when the Dolphins backed up the Brinks truck, a 3-year, $84.75 million contract extension.
Just staying consistent, man, throughout the year, and making them big plays and big games. Big moments.
There is some disappointment heading into the regular season from a wide receiver standpoint. Veteran star wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. will start the season on the physically unable to perform list, out for at least the first 4 games. If everyone can eventually get healthy, what an exciting looking wide receiver core it is. The Dolphins hoping to create some more must-see TV. The Dolphins have the deepest and most talented running back core they've had in years. At the very top, it's Raheem Mostert, coming off a 21-touchdown season, reaching his peak in his early 30s, earning his first Pro Bowl opportunity. At the complete opposite end of the spectrum, 4th-round draft pick Jalen Wright adds to the incredible speed of this offense. Looked fantastic in the preseason. Then there's Devon Achane heading into his 2nd season. He was eventually shut down for a large part of 2023, but not before he became just the 2nd player in NFL history with 7 touchdowns in his first 4 games and 3rd ever to pull off 3 consecutive games with 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. He's improved his catching abilities over the offseason.
I improved a lot. That's something I've always been doing, even when I was young. I like catching the football. Even though I am a running back, I also like, doing receiver type stuff. So it makes me very different and unique in my own way.
How's this for a Swiss Army night of running back skill? We'll have a one-on-one with Raheem Mostert later in the show. Well, the Dolphins adding a major dimension to the offense in 2024 after none of their tight ends scored a touchdown for them last year, the first time that's ever happened in franchise history. The offseason signing of Jonnu Smith could change everything.
He's a very unique player, you know. He's a guy who obviously can play tight end very well, but he's almost built like a running back, and he can run the ball too. He can do a lot of things.
Coach McDaniel is salivating with the playbook possibilities here. Seems like we will get to see a tight end score a touchdown in 2024, maybe even a couple. Dolphins fans are hoping center Aaron Brewer will return from injury for Game 1 against Jacksonville. If not, it'll be Liam Eichenberg moving over from the guard position to center. Concerns with the interior, but the tackles look great with veteran Teron Armstead and Austin Jackson, both huge forces.
I feel very confident in where we're at from the offensive line position. The group has given me more confidence at the O-line position really in general than I've had since I've been here.
Well, that's good news. Hopefully that interior O-line will prove Coach McDaniel right. Tua gets that ball off quick, so it could be a very forgiving offense. On the other side of the ball, the Dolphins may have lost NFL megastars like Christian Wilkins and Xavier Howard, but Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel may have built a solid defense for new defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. We'll break the D down coming up later in the show. The Dolphins' offseason got off to a rough start defensively when they lost both Christian Wilkins and Raekwon Davis in free agency. The team also said goodbye to four-time Pro Bowl cornerback Xavier Howard. But general manager Chris Grier and head coach Mike McDaniel have not left brand new defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver dealing with scraps here.
The Miami Dolphins select Chop Robinson, linebacker. We're going to Miami!
Yeah, he is. It all started with the Dolphins' first-round draft pick, a big statement in more than one way, picking edge rusher Chop Robinson out of Penn State, 21st overall, an important pick with both veteran star edge rusher Bradley Chubb and former Hurricane Jalen Phillips rehabbing from season-ending injuries, and what became an even more important pick when off-season acquisition Shaq Barrett abruptly retired. Robinson has been chopping so far at training camp, incredibly quick off the ball.
The biggest challenge for me was, I would say, just the speed and just learning the game. That's it. Just in college, you know, you're just as fast as everybody, and here it's like some of the offensive linemen are faster than you, so it's just different, but I'm learning day by day.
Yeah, former Miami Hurricane star Jalen Phillips, he's been working harder than anybody day by day, poised to be ready for the regular season opener after last season's heartbreaking end, the torn Achilles. While his partner in crime, Bradley Chubb, will miss at least the first 4 games of the season after last year's torn ACL, Phillips has proven he'll do anything it takes to make an impact on this team.
I'm trying to hit the ground running. You know, how it's going to react, how it's going to feel, that's to be determined, but I feel really explosive and really strong right now.
We may just see a lot of sacks this year, especially with the Dolphins bringing in former Hurricane 6-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Calais Campbell into the mix. No one could be more hungry for a Super Bowl championship. We'll see if Benito Jones and company will be enough to make up for Christian Wilkins. Defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver has proven he knows how to adjust. Of course, there is no bigger defensive star on the Miami Dolphins than veteran 7-time Pro Bowler Jalen Ramsey, who is 100% healthy this year and ready to start embarrassing opposing wide receivers. On the other side, it's former Kansas City Chief and Washington Commander Kendall Fuller, who brings his experience into the mix.
We both going to year 9. You can just say that, and then you can say we are like vets and we had some success.
We do so much. So many guys do so many different things. So I enjoy it, man, and I just love how we're all coming together.
Well, hopefully Cam Smith can stay healthy. That's been a tough ask. Kader Kohu also hungry to prove himself, with his biggest advocate, Xavier Howard, now gone. At safety, you have the next guy in line potentially for a big money contract, Javon Holland, entering his 4th season as one of the best players at his position. The Dolphins also bringing in a former enemy, longtime Bills safety, Jordan Poyer, who has an interesting perspective on what the Bills defensive players thought of the Dolphins over the past few years.
Playing against this team over the past few years, you know, you kind of you get a sense of, okay, if you get on top of this team, they might fold. And there's some teams that are, I mean, this is being honest. So being able to stick together through those adverse moments, through those ups, through those downs, and just staying on that line all the way through the season.
Well, the Dolphins lost a few key defensive pieces to free agency this offseason, but they were able to sign former Seattle Seahawks star Jordan Brooks to try to make up for that. Brooks and David Long Jr. will be looking to improve the Dolphins' run defense. Definitely a high priority for new defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. He's too kind. Let's take a look at some of the Dolphins' key matchups this season. Miami hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars to kick off the year right here on CBS 12 News. Fast forward 3 months. The Dolphins will face the New York Jets for the first time this season. You can watch this key game only on CBS 12. A big conference test for the Dolphins as they'll travel to Houston to take on the Texans. You can catch all of these games right here on CBS 12 News. Enjoy the 2024 season. Hopefully it ends with aqua and orange confetti at the Super Bowl. We'll see you Sunday for the opener. Until then, fins up.
You've been watching Fins Fever 2024, sponsored by GMC. We are professional grade. This has been a CBS 12 News Sports Special.